meditation is like a drink of water. You're thirsty, you drink a little bit, and you feel better. But then you get thirsty again. And that's what meditation's like. I can get every coach on the planet to give me a percentage breakdown between how much of the game, coach, is physical and how much of the game is mental. And they'll give me a breakdown. And it's never 100% physical. There's no mental aspect at all. It's always something like 50-50 is a good one, but it might be 75-25 or 80-20 in favor of mental. And then I'll say, okay, coach, the next question would be, how many hours a week do you spend with your athletes doing mental training? And how much physical training do you do? And the answer is always 0. They do nothing for actual training of the mind when they just admitted at worst that it's 50-50. They just told me how important. Mm-hmm. And some of them will say like 70-80% mental. And I'm like, well, what are you doing then? You're wasting your time on the field. Get in these kids' head. What are you doing to do that? The answer is 0. They have no clue, right? So I actually would agree with some of the higher estimates of how much is mental. So a good place to start is to admit that we're not doing nearly enough as coaches or as personal athletes training ourselves to work on this. So ask yourself, how much do I think whatever I do is mental and how much of it is physical? And whatever that is, balance your training out. So a good place to start is some breathing and or meditation techniques. And there's dozens of good ones. And I don't know if there's any bad ones. But a very easy meditation. So meditation is not a panacea. Meditation is like a drink of water. You're thirsty, you drink a little bit, and you feel better. But then you get thirsty again. And that's what meditation's like. You're all stressed out, you're tense, you need to relax and recover. And so you do some meditation and you calm down. It's not like you're done. You're going to get tense and upset again. And, so then you do more meditation. You take another drink. And I have some personal favorites. But again, since we're talking about the mental side of things, everybody is different. I'm going to say that now. So a good place to start would be like a Tibetan style of meditation where you just sit and do nothing. You shut down. Shut your body down. You don't move a muscle. Just breathe. You can concentrate on just the breathing. In, out, in, out. 5 minutes. Start with 5. You can work your way up to an hour later. 15 is not a bad place to be for the rest of your life. 15 minutes a day of just not being plugged into the world, being plugged into just yourself.
Now, when they're doing that and their mind flies, what should they do?
So the Tibetans have an answer for this. So you're concentrating on your breathing and a thought bubbles up from your subconscious. I got to get milk today. They say, don't add to it. Because what we do is we take a thought and we add another thought to that. I got to get milk today. While I'm there, I should stop and get some other stuff too. And you start to think about it. Well, no, I'm not supposed to be thinking about that. Well, what am I supposed to be thinking about? Nothing. And you just start having this conversation again. So what the Tibetans say with this style of meditation is just breathe, and when a thought pops in, don't add another thought to it. Observe it and let it go. It won't stay in there forever. Mm-hmm. It won't. Just go back to thinking nothing. And you may have most of your meditation at first may be spent thinking thoughts and trying to get to those little tiny spaces between thoughts.
True.
But they're always there. And so those get longer and longer and longer if you don't build on a thought, if you just let it go. And you can't judge. They're big on this. You can't say, damn it, I'm not supposed to be thinking about anything. I just had a thought about milk. I got to think about nothing. Now you're having this conversation. That's 4 thoughts in a row about not thinking about something. Just observe it. I just thought about milk. I just thought about my feet. I just thought about that sound from the fan. So You just see them and you let them go. And you can get pretty quiet doing that. And that quietness is a rest. God, finally a rest for my mind. And your body's resting because you're sitting still. But your body rests when you sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's not about physical rest. It's about shutting down your involvement with everything and giving yourself a rest. The mind never shuts off, because if it did, we'd quit breathing and we'd quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it never shuts off even when you're not conscious. So if I knock you out, your mind is still working. I can still see the brain waves.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you go to sleep, take a nap, still see the brain waves. They're not the same, but it never quits. Your heart never quits beating. It's been beating since you were conceived.
Mm-hmm.
It's never stopped. And all this time. So we think when we go to sleep, we're resting. Well, to some degree that's true. But if you really want to rest your mind, take some time, sit, do nothing. Just be. What would it be if I didn't have to do anything? Like if I didn't even have to sit, or if I didn't even have to breathe. But I'm just going to do as little as possible, and I'm going to be as much as possible. I'm going to be instead of do. You're always thinking about what we got to do. Thinking is something we do. What if you stopped thinking? What if you just be? What if you just existed and that was all you had to do? That can be very freeing and very renewing. So you talk about recovery. This is where I start.
Mm-hmm.
Now, food is important, right? But this makes a big difference. So some practice with breathing techniques. So there's another breathing technique I like. It's 3 breaths a minute. So a 10-second inhalation followed by a 10-second exhalation. That'll end up in 3 breaths a minute. See if you can do that for 3 minutes. So it's 10 seconds in. 1, 2, 3, etc. It's slow, but it can be done. And it calms you down. Just counting those seconds off and controlling your breath. It can be done. It settles you down. And if you're aware, you notice it right away. If you're not so aware, it takes a minute to notice it. You got to do it for a while before you notice it. But I don't know of anybody that said, that did nothing for me. 0.
Mm-hmm.
0. If they try it, they feel something. Now, they may want to continue, they may not. But there's all kinds of techniques that might work. One kind of meditation is visualization. Seeing the goal clearly. Another kind of meditation is, trying to solve a problem. Another kind of...
Let's go with the visualization a little deeper, because
sure.
I have a lot of experience with that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I try to help people with this, it's, as you talked about, with just resting your mind, the thoughts that come in. With the visualization, when you first start the visualization, you're going to see some weird ass shit.
Yeah.
And you visualize a bench press, all of a sudden you're twirling it and it goes flying up in the air on fire.
Pizza wheels on.
It's got all kinds of crazy shit. So, I guess it's just more of, I wanted to make the statement that if it's to me, it was a very extremely valuable tool. I was taught when I was in high school, it was actually part of a flotation tank greater experience.
Oh, like a deprivation chamber.
So, and I was taught with the candle, focus on the
Good
candle
stuff.
till the candle goes,
candle
and
flame.
Put yourself in a deep state and then begin the visualization. And it took weeks before things could be black and white, and then more weeks before things could be vivid color. And then I could actually see and do what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But for me, it was a 3-month process before I could actually see what I wanted to see. Yeah. Where I think some people are under the misconception that they're going to close their eyes to visualize what they want to see, and it's going to be like a movie screen in front of their face. And it's not. So they say, I can't do this. Would you agree with that?
I would completely disagree.
You disagree? Okay.
So I tell people to start with daydreaming.
Mm-hmm.
Just daydream about everybody knows how to do that. We do it automatically. Start with daydreaming. People daydream about their vacation.
Yeah.
They daydream about their new car or their kid. They daydream.
Yeah.
So we know how to do that. So
Yeah.
you already know how to do it.
Okay.
Right? Everybody knows how to do it. So you start with that, and that's not very. You could say, well, I want to. I'm going to go to Florida and I want to do well in this meet. Well, just daydream about it. Daydream about the trip. Daydream about getting there. Daydream about after it, how you're going to feel afterwards, right? Just daydream, because that doesn't sound like it's a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah.
If I have to visualize something, then I got to be like, okay, blank slate. Where do I go from here? So you practice just seeing whatever you see. Have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Don't see anything bad. There are a couple of things that the visualizing community has decided upon that are absolutely consistent. One, nothing negative. You cannot see anything negative. If you do, you got to start over. Go back to the beginning. And so you can't take a golf swing and visualize your hips and visualize your club coming up and do something wrong and then just go, oh, that was wrong, I'm going to continue. No, go back to the beginning. You got to go from beginning to end. No mistakes, no nothing negative. No, and there's different ways to get rid of negative thoughts. One that I don't know why this stuck with me, but I would put it in a box, close the box, and send the box over Niagara Falls, because I've been to Niagara Falls. So I'd watch it go over the falls. It was gone. And that sounds silly, right? But guess what? Your subconscious is a little kid. It's not this sophisticated consciousness that we operate with. And I believe, by the way, it's the bigger part of us. I believe the small part is our consciousness. And the big part is our subconscious. I give you some reasons for that. Just the fact that it keeps you alive, and thousands upon thousands of physiological processes, like your blood sugar, like your temperature, like your membrane potentials of sodium and potassium, 24/7, like your heart. I mean, it's all subconscious. It does a big job all at the same time. I'd like you to juggle and tell me what you did on your vacation at the same time, right? Just two things tough for us consciously, right? So I think the subconscious is really, really powerful, but it's a little kid. It can't even tell the difference between reality and fantasy. It has no way to. Your subconscious is locked in your brain. It's locked in a box with no light. That's a skull that there's no light inside your brain. You make that up. No light gets in there. No color gets in there. No sound gets in there. Nothing gets in there. You got to take the stimulus that you get from your body, and then you got to recreate a model of the outside world.
Hang, wait. All right, guys, if you've been, I hate this stupid shit. All right, guys, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, select the notifications, but also keep in mind, we do have a website. It's elitefts.com. On our website, we put up 2 new articles every single day, 7 days a week. We also have training blogs that are updated daily, coaching blogs which are updated daily, archived history of over 1 million Q&As that are on the website. So check out our website. Also check out our Instagram, which is at elitefts, and my personal Instagram, which is at @underthebar, as we're always putting new content there as well. So check them all out, because we have different content on all different channels.